Let's just pretend. Chapter 5. Chapter 5. Part 1. Unscheduled guest Orm was rearranging her desk when Ling wandered into her room, towel around her neck and hair still wet from a midday shower. "You're cleaning?" Ling asked, raising an eyebrow. "Are you sick?" Orm glanced over her shoulder. "No, I'm expecting someone." Ling's playful expression disappeared. "Who?" "Earth. He's stopping by." Ling leaned against the doorway, arms crossed. "Why?" Orm grinned to herself, enjoying the shift in Ling's tone. "Because he asked me to design a website for his photography portfolio." Ling blinked. "You're doing his website?" "Yes, I have a degree in design now, remember? And he liked my final project." Ling walked into the room slowly, like testing the floorboards. "Since when do you do freelance work for guys who've been in love with you since high school?" Orm snorted. "Oh my God, are you jealous?" "I'm skeptical," Ling replied, narrowing her eyes. "He just wants a clean, simple layout. He has a logo idea, some sample photos, and a whole folder of references. This is actual work, Ling." "Right." Orm grabbed her laptop and flipped it open. "You can say it, you know." "Say what?" "That you don't like him." Ling didn't answer, just started pacing. "I think it's funny," Orm teased. "You, acting territorial." "I'm not acting territorial. You're literally pacing." Ling stopped. "I just don't see why you couldn't refer him to someone else. You're busy. You're pretending to be engaged to me, remember?" Orm raised an eyebrow. "I didn't realize you were managing my schedule now." Ling gave her a look, then crossed her arms tighter. The doorbell rang. Orm grinned. "Relax, I'll be back after the scandalous meeting with my very professional client." She practically skipped down the stairs. Ling stayed upstairs for 3 seconds before following her. Ling moved closer to the window and peeked outside. "You're going to meet him alone?" "It's not a date, Ling. It's business." "Still." Orm rolled her eyes. "Still what?" Ling turned and leaned against the window frame. "Still weird. He has a crush on you. Always has." "Which is why you insisted on sleeping in my bed, right?" Orm teased. "To protect me from the dangers of flattery?" Ling gave her a deadpan look. "Don't make jokes. You know what I mean." "I do," Orm said. "But it's cute when you get like this." "I'm not cute," Ling muttered. "Fine," Orm said, standing and brushing imaginary dust off her shorts. "You're a big, scary, jealous beast who growls whenever another mammal gets near me." Ling's lips twitched. "Damn right." They heard footsteps on the gravel outside. Orm looked at Ling. "Promise to behave?" Ling looked back with a straight face. "Define behave." "Ling, I'll be silent, like a shadow." "You're incapable of being subtle," Orm said, walking to the door. "Watch me." Orm opened the door to find Earth standing there with a hopeful grin and a USB in hand. "Hey, Orm. Sorry I'm a bit early." "No problem," Orm said, waving him in. "Come on up. I have everything set up in my room." As Earth followed her up the stairs, Ling was already seated on Orm's bed, arms crossed, her expression unreadable. "Hey, Ling," Earth said, clearly trying to sound casual. Ling gave a polite nod. "Hi." Orm caught the flicker of tension and fought the urge to smirk. This was going to be fun. Chapter 5. Part 2. Under Surveillance. The moment Earth sat down across from Orm at her desk, Ling pulled up a chair just slightly to the side. Not too close, but close enough to hover. Earth opened his USB. "So, here's all my content. Gallery shots, a short bio, and my logo idea." Orm leaned over the screen, nodding. "I like the color scheme. Very you." Ling tilted her head. "Very you?" Orm didn't answer, but Earth cleared his throat. "Yeah. I thought muted blues and grays might make the photos pop more." Ling hummed. She didn't say more, but didn't leave either. They got to work. Orm sketched some layout ideas, Earth nodded enthusiastically, and every 5 minutes Ling shifted her chair, sighed, or asked if they needed anything. "Do you want tea?" she asked for the second time. "We're fine," Orm said firmly. You sure? There's that blueberry blend your mom likes. Ling. Ling leaned back, crossing one leg over the other, arms folded tight. Earth laughed nervously. It's okay, I get it. You're just being protective. Territorial, Orm muttered. Ling didn't deny it. From the hallway they heard voices. Aunt Nita was passing by and poked her head in. Oh, is this the handsome boy who came to visit Orm? Earth stood awkwardly. Just here for design help. Sure, Aunt Nita said with a wink. Ling, you better watch out. She's watching, Orm muttered. A few more aunts strolled past the open door. So this is the fiancé and the ex-crush, someone whispered a little too loudly. Ling didn't blink. She just moved her chair closer. Orm groaned. You're loving this, aren't you? Ling turned her head. Define loving. Earth chuckled but looked increasingly uncomfortable. Maybe we should work somewhere quieter. Like the moon? Orm mumbled, but Ling wasn't going anywhere. Just as Orm tried to show Earth the mock-up on her laptop, Ling leaned in a little too close from behind. Your font's a little basic, Ling commented, squinting. Orm glanced at her. Thanks for the unsolicited feedback. Earth tried to chuckle, but his eyes darted between the two of them like he was watching a tennis match. Another relative passed by, this time Uncle Tawan, munching on peanuts. What's going on here, huh? Interview for future son-in-law? Uncle, Orm shouted. He just grinned and wandered off. Ling smirked behind her hand. Then Grandma appeared with a tray of fruit. Sharing snacks always brings people closer, she declared, setting the tray down right between Earth and Ling like a peace offering. Or a dare. Earth picked up a slice of mango and smiled politely. Thank you, Grandma. You're welcome, handsome boy. Ling plucked a grape, looked him dead in the eye, and ate it without breaking eye contact. Orm slapped her forehead. You're impossible. She started it, Ling said under her breath. Earth gave up pretending everything was fine. Look, maybe I should go over the files with you later. Maybe email? No, Orm said quickly. We're doing this now. But the interruptions didn't stop. Two cousins stopped to take selfies from the hallway. Her brother peeked in to say, Should I tell your fiancé her glare's getting scarier? Get out! Orm snapped. The door finally closed, but the damage was done. Earth pushed his chair back. It's okay, Orm. I think I have what I need for now. No, wait. I'll email the rest, he said, already halfway to the door. Thanks for your time. Orm watched helplessly as he left. Ling smiled and popped another grape into her mouth. Guess he wasn't that serious about the website. Orm didn't say anything. She was too busy trying not to explode. Chapter 5. Part 3. Disrupted Designs. Orm shut the door behind Earth and leaned against it, fists clenched. Ling was lounging on her bed like a cat who'd just swatted a bird out of the sky. He didn't even get to show me the rest of his logo sketches, Orm said, glaring at her. Ling didn't look up. He can email them. You completely hijacked that meeting. I was quiet. You were not quiet. I offered tea 3 times. Ling finally sat up. Why are you so upset? It's not like you actually wanted to do his stupid little website. Orm stalked across the room and snatched up her sketchpad from the floor. I did want to. It was real work, Ling. Something I could put in my portfolio. Ling's expression faltered for just a moment. This wasn't some flirty coffee date. He came here to talk about design and you scared him off like a feral guard dog. Ling rolled her eyes. Oh, please. If he can't handle a little company, he couldn't handle you glaring holes into his skull. Orm started flipping through the mock-ups they never got to discuss, her fingers trembling with frustration. You know what? Forget it. I'll message him and apologize. Tell him I'll reschedule when you're not around. Ling stood up, crossing the room in 2 quick strides. I'm not sorry. Of course you're not, Orm muttered. You're never sorry. You just do what you want. I do what I have to. Like chasing off anyone who even looks at me for longer than 2 seconds? Ling didn't answer. Orm slammed her laptop shut. You ruined it. Silence stretched between them like a wire pulled too tight. I ruined nothing, Ling said finally, voice low. I made sure he didn't cross a line. He didn't, Orm snapped. You did. You don't trust me, Orm said. her voice quieter now, but sharper too. That's what this is. Ling narrowed her eyes. That's not true. Then why did you hover like a jealous teenager? Because I know how guys like him think, Ling snapped. He was looking for excuses to be close to you. I could see it. That doesn't give you the right to bulldoze over my work meeting. Ling crossed her arms. I didn't bulldoze. I supervised. Oh my God, Ling. Orm stared at her. You think you're funny, but this isn't a joke. I worked hard to build a portfolio. This job could have led to more work. Word of mouth. Exposure. He wasn't here to network, Orm. Maybe not. But I was. That stopped Ling. She took a small step back, her face unreadable again. Orm kept going. You say you're helping me, protecting me, but half the time it feels like you're trying to control me. I'm not. Well, it feels like it, Orm shot back. I used to think I could handle you when you got like this, that maybe it was just part of the whole fake relationship deal, but today you embarrassed me in front of my family, my client, and made me look like I can't set a boundary without you looming behind me. Ling's jaw tightened. He doesn't respect your boundaries. He would have if you gave him 5 seconds to breathe. They stood in silence again. Ling finally looked away. I didn't think it mattered that much to you. It does, Orm said, voice brittle. It matters a lot. And if you can't see that, then maybe you don't understand me as well as you think. Ling looked like she wanted to say something more, but didn't. She walked to the door, paused, and then left without another word. Chapter 5, Part 4. Ultimatums. Ling didn't go far. She was in the backyard, leaning against the trunk of Orm's favorite mango tree, arms folded tight across her chest. Her face was shadowed, unreadable as always. Orm found her easily. She didn't hesitate. You can't just walk away every time you get called out? Ling didn't move. You want to talk now? Yes. Now. Ling exhaled and looked over. What do you want me to say? That I'm sorry for caring? I want you to understand, Orm said. This fake relationship thing? It's not an excuse to bulldoze over every decision I make. I wasn't bulldozing. Ling cut herself off, lips pressing into a tight line. I saw the way he looked at you. Of course he looked at me, Ling. That's not a crime. It's not just the look, it's the energy, like he was waiting for an opening. Orm stepped closer. That's not your call to make. Yes, it is, Ling said flatly. As long as I'm your girlfriend, even if it's fake, I'm not letting you be alone with someone who clearly wants to sleep with you. Orm stared at her. You don't get to make those decisions. I do when you won't. I won't? Orm's voice shot up. You think I can't handle myself? I think you don't take things seriously until it's too late, Ling said quietly, and I'm not going to wait for someone like Earth to try something and then act surprised. Orm threw her hands up. God, you're impossible. Maybe. But I'm not wrong. They stood there, tension thick as ever, the wind rustling dry leaves around them. Ling looked at her for a long moment, eyes unreadable. I don't care if you hate me for it. I won't let you be alone with someone who's in love with you. That's not happening. And what if I want to be? Orm shot back. Ling's jaw clenched. Then we have a problem. Orm took a shaky breath and crossed her arms. You act like I'm some naive idiot who can't read people. That's not what I think. It's exactly what you think. You don't trust me to make decisions. You don't think I can draw the line. Ling looked down at the grass. I trust you. I don't trust him. There's a difference. You don't trust anyone. Orm's voice cracked. You think every person who shows interest in me has an agenda. They do. Oh, come on. I'm serious, Ling said. You're sweet, kind, gorgeous. You act like a clueless princess half the time and don't notice when people start circling like sharks. So you're my bodyguard now? I'm your girlfriend, remember? Fake girlfriend, Orm corrected. Just fake. Not to your family, not to your friends, and not to me when I'm watching some guy lean over your shoulder like he's already planning his next move. You don't get to control me just because we're pretending. Ling stepped forward. It stopped feeling like pretending a long time ago. That silenced Orm. Ling looked away, jaw clenched. But I guess I'm the only one who feels that way. Orm's heart hammered in her chest, but her pride snapped louder than anything else. You don't get to act like a martyr. You're not doing this out of love. You're doing it because you're possessive and controlling, and I'm doing it because I care about you, Ling yelled. Orm took a step back, stunned. Ling swallowed hard. I can't stand the idea of anyone hurting you. And yeah, maybe I went too far, but I won't apologize for protecting you. Not ever. Orm stared at her for a long moment. Her chest felt tight. Everything felt too much. I didn't ask you to protect me, she whispered. But you need it, Ling whispered back. Chapter 5, Part 5. Not really. Orm's eyes burned. She wasn't even sure if it was from anger or something worse. Ling stood there, fierce and unyielding, throwing words like weapons and expecting her to just absorb the hits. I don't need protecting, Orm said, voice rising again. I'm not your problem to solve. Ling didn't move. You are when you pretend this isn't real. This isn't real, Orm shouted. None of this is. You're not my real girlfriend. You don't get to act like you own me. Silence crashed down on them. Ling's expression didn't change, at first. Then it did. Something in her eyes dimmed. A small, almost imperceptible shift, like something inside her quietly cracked. Orm saw it, felt it, regretted it instantly, but couldn't take it back. Ling exhaled slowly. Right. She stepped back. Ling. I get it, Ling said. Her voice wasn't sharp anymore, just quiet. Loud and clear. Wait, I didn't mean… You did. Ling turned around. Orm took a step toward her, panic rising. Don't go. But Ling didn't look back. She walked away. Orm stood frozen as the last of Ling's footsteps faded. The silence left behind felt louder than the shouting had ever been. She sank down onto the garden bench, her legs barely supporting her. Her heart was still racing, her hands trembling with adrenaline and something sharper. Guilt, maybe. The words she'd shouted echoed back in her own head, each one a blade. You're not my real girlfriend. Except Ling had been acting like one, had held her like one, had kissed her like one, had protected her like… Orm buried her face in her hands. Why had she said that? Because it was the truth? Because it wasn't? A bird chirped in the tree above her, too bright and too cheerful. Orm wanted to scream at it to shut up. She thought about chasing after Ling. But what would she even say? That she didn't mean it? That she was angry and said the cruelest thing she could think of just to make her shut up? The truth was worse than all of that. The truth was, she hadn't wanted Ling to stop. Not really. She just hadn't known how to handle what it felt like to be wanted that fiercely. To be fought for, like she mattered more than a fake label or a make-believe romance. And Ling had looked at her like she was something precious, like she wasn't pretending at all. Orm blinked fast, clearing the wetness from her eyes. She had hurt her, badly. She curled into herself, drawing her knees up on the bench. Ling was gone. Not far, maybe. But emotionally, it felt like she was on another planet now. And all Orm could do was sit there, her words still echoing in the air. Not really your girlfriend. Not really. She closed her eyes and, without meaning to, remembered the night before. Ling's touch, her mouth, her voice whispering things Orm never imagined someone would say to her. Not with hunger, not with reverence. It had felt so real, too real. And now? Now Orm had slammed the door on it with one sentence. You're not my real girlfriend. It was easier to pretend it was fake, safer, cleaner, but the way her heart hurt now? There was nothing fake about that. She remembered how Ling had brushed the hair out of her face while she was falling asleep the night before. How she whispered, "You're so beautiful when you're stubborn," and kissed her temple, as if Orm were hers, as if it had never been pretend. Orm wiped at her face, suddenly furious at herself. What was she so afraid of? That Ling meant it? That she might mean it too? The truth scared her more than anything Earth or any other guy ever could. Because if Ling was serious, if she had been serious all along, then this wasn't just a game. And Orm had just thrown it all away. She pressed her hand to her chest like she could hold something inside from breaking. From across the garden someone called her name, but she didn't move, didn't answer. The sun had dipped lower, casting long shadows, and everything around her felt heavier now. Ling was gone, and Orm didn't know how to get her back.